What is up, everybody? Thank you for checking out a new episode of the BarbacoaCore podcast. I am your host, Patrick C. Huerta. Thank you again for listening. I appreciate you taking the time to check out the podcast. If you can, go ahead and like or subscribe to whichever platform that you use to listen to this podcast, whether it be iTunes or SoundCloud or Google Play, Castbox. Just subscribe to that channel, and that will be helping out the podcast as well. Um, I'll also post these up, just the audio. I post them up on YouTube. Some people have asked if the podcast would be available on YouTube, so I did that for the people asking. It is just the audio. I'm not doing any video yet. So it's just the audio that's on YouTube. But if that's how you want to listen to the podcast, go ahead. Thanks for doing that as well. Um, so yeah, let's do the shout outs. I always like to do shout outs for friends of the podcast. So first up, CBDB. Follow them on Instagram at mycbdb, or check out their website www.mycbdb.com. On that website, if you purchase anything through that website, use promo code TXMC, and you'll get 15% off the purchase from that website. CBDB is a Texas hemp botanical alternative boutique and pop-up shop for all your CBD needs. They're in San Antonio, Houston, Austin. So follow them on Instagram so you'll find out where they're going to be set up at, or you could just get your CBD, whatever you need, whatever products you need through their website, mycbdb.com. Use promo code TXMC and you get 15% off your purchase through the website. Also want to give a shout out to Uglyhead for letting us use the intro or the music for the intro and outro of this and every episode. Uglyhead has a new EP out. It's called the Disembodied EP that is available for digital pre-order for $5. So you can get that at www.uglyhead.bandcamp.com/album/disembodied. So you can check out. They have 2 tracks up that you could preview before you do the purchase. But support Uglyhead. They allow us to use the music, and I appreciate that. And check out their past discography. If you want to hear me playing drums on an Uglyhead album, check out The Garden. I play drums on that one. And those are 2 of the tracks that I use for the intro and outro of the episode. Little info for that on that. Anyway, so shout out to Uglyhead, shout out to CBDB. Also, give a shout out to 104 Menudo y Mas. They're a pop up shop. They do menudo, they do pulled pork sandwiches, they do chicken sandwiches. So I don't think they have an event coming up yet, not that I know of, but you follow them on Instagram, 104 Menudo y Mas, or also on Facebook, and you'll be able to know, you'll be in the know of where they're going to be set up next. This past weekend, they were set up at Freetail for just like a few hours, and they had sold out, of all their stuff, which is awesome. Because the food is so good, the menudo is good, the pulled pork sandwiches. I got to try everything this last time, which was awesome. It's really good food. So check them out. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook, 104 Menudo y Mas. So find it so you'll know where they're going to be set up next. So let's get into the episode. On this episode, I sat down with local comedian Joey Smith. Talk about how he got his start, and what he's done since then, or since the start. He's only been doing comedy for 5 months, but he's already doing like hosting jobs. He's has a couple shows. He does have a show coming up April 24th in San Marcos. He'll get into more details on that, and that information will be available in the show notes. Or you can follow him on Instagram at Joey Smith Comedy, so you'll be in the know about that show coming up. He does host an open mic every Monday. It's either at the Old Main Ice House in Cibolo, or at the Bar House in Shirts. They alternate on Mondays, but he's running those mics. So if you ever want to go out and check out local comics, work on their craft, you could check out the open mics that he runs. Or if you've ever been interested in trying open mic, trying comedy, you can go and sign up there and have some fun with it. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this episode. This is with Joey Smith. Thank you again for listening. If you want to follow the podcast Instagram page, that's at BarbacoaCore Podcast. That is where I post and repost a lot of stuff that friends of the podcast or past guests of the podcast have going on. I like to repost it there as a way to like push, support, promote what they have going on. I myself, I am doing a show April 13th with the guys of the Gentleman Swank. They do a second Saturday show at Hondros on St. Mary's. So they asked me to host that event. So I asked a couple of my funny friends, my funny comedian friends, to come on the show, do some time. So the show starts at 10. We're gonna do comedy hour from 10 to 11, and then there'll be two bands that play after that. The Gentleman Swank and another band who I don't know if that's been confirmed yet. They'll be doing raffles because they'll have vendors out there, so vendors will donate some items to be raffled off. That will be raffled out that night. So it should be a blast. I'll have more details about that when everything's finalized. But as right now, just put April 13th on your calendar to be at Hondros. Show starts at 10. We'll do an hour of comedy, and then we'll do music, raffles, and it'll be fun. So yeah, come out to that. But back to my guest. This is Joey Smith on the BarbacoaCore podcast. Thanks for listening. What is up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of the BarbacoaCore podcast. Today I have in the studio Joey Smith. What's going on, man?
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in. As I explained earlier, we're recording on Wednesday. Today is the 27th, but I'm going to start posting these up on Sundays. You know, just give me a little break because I was going from recording to doing all the post-production like as fast as I can to get it posted up and available by Thursday morning. But fuck that, because that's a lot of work, man.
Hey, you don't owe anyone shit, man. Like, put it out. Put it out when you want to put it out.
So yeah, so give me a little bit more time to do the post production and all that shit, and so yeah. So let's start off first, like plugs. Like, do you have anything coming up? Anything you want to promote after the 31st? Because this isn't gonna go out to the 31st.
So after the 31st, every Monday we always do open mic in Shirts and Cibolo. We switch between Bar House and Old Main Ice House. Same guy owns both of them, and he just likes when we switch it up. But he's been super cool, super supportive of us. I have a show April 24th in San Marcos at the Middleton Brewery. And you're hearing this on Sunday, but on Thursday I hosted at Jokesters.
If you were there at Jokesters this past Thursday, that was Joey Smith.
Yeah, I hope you had a good time. And if not, I didn't know it was going to turn out like that.
Yeah. So you're taking over for Anthony or for Quasi?
Oh, Anthony's in LA right now. And then King Quasi, I guess he had something come up or whatever, but he just asked me to do it, and I was more than willing to. So cool.
So you're going to be running the show yourself, the open mic yourself on Thursday? Or you ran the mic this past Thursday then?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it went good.
Yeah, hopefully it was fun. Hopefully I did a great job.
You know, I really didn't realize like how weird it would be like to record on Wednesday, but not, you don't post it till Sunday. You know, so hopefully whoever comes on, like, it's a good thing you don't have nothing going on, like a big show going on like this Friday.
Yeah. Well, then I would just rage quit.
This past Friday. So it'll be an adjustment. We'll get into that and shit.
What if something major happens in between then? Like, what if like the world ends on Saturday? Like, they're not even going to ever know I hosted a Jokesters on Thursday. Like,
well, if the world ended on Saturday, it's really not that important. It probably won't go up at all.
Oh, man.
And so, like, the BarbacoaCore podcast is probably not the most thing.
I'm
the
a
most
sociopath,
pressing
man.
thing. No, but I get it, you know. We're due for another. No, I'm not going to say that.
You're like, the calendar ended in 2012, man. It's time.
So cool, man. Oh, do we get your social medias? How do people find you?
So my only like comedy related one is Instagram, and it's just Joey Smith Comedy. But I have a bunch of people on my Facebook too. That one's under Joseph Smith. So I did that one as Joseph, so people from high school wouldn't find me. But I guess I'm ruining that secret now. But
why don't you want to get found from people from high school?
Oh, I don't. It's whatever.
You got to get on the mic, man.
I'm sorry.
There
so
you
sorry.
go. Oh, that's clear. There you go.
Is it good?
Yeah, that's good.
My bad. No, I just I try to keep like Facebook like more people like Facebook is just like it's a trolling tool at this point. Like I don't enjoy it at all.
Yeah, man, but it is a networking tool.
Yeah,
like that's why I had to get back on it, because like I was off for a while, just because, especially like after like the all the political shit, and everybody's like doing like their own agenda and shit on Facebook. When it was like, where are all the food pics at? Like the food pics of shit, you know? Because that's what people are just using Facebook for, you know, like, oh, traffic is shitty, like, why is that a post? Or look at the food I'm about to eat. And then it turned like, look what Trump did now, or look what Trump did, you know.
Yeah, dude, like people just like find things to fight about. I can't do it, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did a good solid maybe almost a month, I think, without Facebook. And then people wanted to network on Facebook, you know, especially for the podcast, you know, they want to like promote it on Facebook and tag it and all that stuff. So I had to get back on. It's really it's a self-control thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I have like the most addictive personality ever too.
Yeah.
So.
Like I'm good if I like at work I'm on my phone like nonstop, because like I'm on the computer and then I'm listening to like either Spotify or like different podcasts and stuff. And I work on the phones. So if I'm on hold or if I'm in the middle of a call and stuff, I'll go straight to like Facebook and all that shit.
Is that like the first, like you like unlock your phone? Is that the first app you press?
Yeah,
dude, it's bad, man.
Well, it used to be Candy Crush. It used to be Candy Crush all day.
Oh, I never did that.
Because like I was like, I'd have to be distracted. It's a need to be distracted from anything else. So it was Candy Crush, and then I got rid of that, and now it's just social media.
Did you ever do Farmville?
No.
Dude, I
man.
never understood
I think,
it.
Is it still going? That shit's dead,
I have no
right?
idea. I just remember like my mom used to play it, and then I was just like, okay, that game's for moms, but
yeah, and people always send like invites or like, help me feed my cows and shit. I was like, what the fuck?
I almost just spit coffee everywhere. But.
Yeah, don't do that. I got to pay the deposit on this, on the room. So cool, man. So how long you been doing comedy? That's how we met, is through comedy, these open mics and stuff. How long you been in it?
So I've been, I started my first open mic. I went to my first open mic. April 17th is 5 months. So been doing open mics, and I've done like 2 shows in that time. So.
Oh yeah. What made you? Was it like a dare, or what made you get up on open mics?
No, it was like more like I've always been like the class clown like type of thing, and just the way that like my life went, it was just like I never had time to do anything I wanted to do. I was just always working.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, I'm gonna try this out. I got some time on my hands, and I tried it out, and it's super fun. Like if nothing else, it's like one of the funnest things you can do.
It's pretty addicted, man. Like like you get really addicted very easy.
Yeah.
And shit. And so before that, you said you were doing like bands. You were playing drums and doing all that shit.
Yeah. So I think I joined my first band when I was like 14, and then like they were never good, but but we were jamming and jumping on shows, and that was fun. I did that till I was like, I think 19 or so.
This was all in San Antonio?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was never good enough to play outside of San Antonio.
Well, no. I say that because like we were talking earlier, like how I thought you were from Philly.
Yeah.
You know, because you're always ripping that stuff. So I thought you were new to San Antonio, like you just got here and stuff.
No.
But you said that that you're born or most of your time has been here.
Yeah.
You know,
I was raised in San Antonio, but yeah. As far as sports goes, no option, but the Philly stuff, like that's it.
Yeah. But so all your bands were in San Antonio?
Yeah. We were all based out. I think the furthest member I ever had was in like Castroville, like of a band, but he was the one with the car, so you know.
that's why he got in.
Yeah, man.
He was a bass player with the car. And shit.
Dude, he was like the worst guitar player I've ever had, like in a band with me. But
yeah,
he picked us all up and took us to the shows and stuff. So
yeah, so he must have known that he sucked, but he had the car.
Yeah, he knew because he'd have an idea and we'd be like, oh, cool. Let's go back to doing that thing that we were doing before.
And what kind of stuff was that?
Like post-hardcore kind of stuff. Like a Rise Records wannabe band, kind of.
Oh, okay.
But that was always my goal. I'd wear like Rise Records T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah, like you wanted to be on that certain label.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. What were the names of the bands? Like, were they silly names or were they like very serious? Like, no, this is our life.
No, I never cared about that kind of stuff. I was like, I don't care about the name or.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and back in that time, like all the bands were doing like super random names in their like of their songs and like albums and stuff. Yeah. So I never cared, but I don't even want to. They were so bad. I don't even want to plug any of them. Like
that's what I'm trying to get to, man. Like you don't want to say those.
I don't even want to say it, man.
So nothing serious. Y'all didn't do like any recording or no road shows, nothing like that.
No, nothing like that. There is a recording, but. Did
it get lost in the MySpace? The whole tracks, all the tracks that got deleted from MySpace?
No, I think it got lost in like the YouTube.
Oh,
like just I don't even think it's on YouTube anymore, but
it could be on YouTube.
Possibly. The 15 people that watched it, I'm sure they were like, I'm gonna report this.
Yeah.
It's just
what was the name of it, man?
I'll tell you off air. We'll talk about it off air.
No, man, I don't care off air.
He's like, the minute that this stops recording, you leave. This is how this works.
Nah, that's cool. I get it, man. I mean, I'm proud of all the products that I was in. I'm very aware of what they are, like what type of bands they were now. You know, but at the time, like I thought, like every band that I was in, I thought was like the best thing in the world. You know.
Yeah.
That's not the truth. You know, we got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Like my first band was very shitty. We were just like a thrash shit band, you know.
Yeah.
We loved what we were doing. We had a lot of fun doing it and stuff. But it's just noise. It was just noise.
One of the weirdest things about music for me was that like the ones that you're having fun or like having the time of your life, like those bands almost are never good.
Yeah.
And then the ones where like they're like halfway decent, you're like, this is miserable. Like I hate all of you.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it always was for me, at least.
Yeah, man. And then it's just hard to like get with people that are always on the same page. I mean, everybody talks a good game, you know, like, oh, we want to tour, we want to record, we want to do all that stuff, but really they don't, man.
Yeah.
Because it's not just going on stage and playing shows. I mean, you gotta like record, you gotta rehearse, you gotta write. It's a lot of stuff that you gotta do for it.
I had a lot of the like the singer's like girlfriend kind of like where he'd be like, oh, I can't do this.
Yoko Ono, that shit.
Yeah, dude. There's so many Yokos in San Antonio, man. It's crazy. You'd never think, but they're everywhere. So yeah, music was a huge part of my life. My brother taught me how to play drums when I was like 5. It's always been there.
Yeah.
So I still own drum sets. I just have nowhere to play them other than my mom's house. So
see, that's the thing, man. Like, I don't like to hold on to stuff that I don't use. So as soon as I retired, I held on to the drum set for a little bit, but they were just sitting in the corner of my apartment collecting dust.
That's what mine are doing.
I hate that. It's the saddest thing, especially if you see it every day. I even try like covering it up. I put like a blanket over it, so it's just like a hill of fucking, a hill of drum.
It's like the most obvious thing ever. It's like a fabric Christmas tree or something.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, man, I just sold them. I sold them to a church because they were willing to pay what I was asking, and the guy was like, hey, man, if you ever want to jam out, in this, what are they calling it, like praise bands or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Just come on out, man. And, like, you can jam on. I was like, thought about it, I thought about it, but I was like, oh, man, can I really, should I lie to these God people to just play drums
I know
and
people
stuff?
that are like, dude, it's a band. Like we're jamming, whatever.
Yeah, I thought about it. But I still follow them on Facebook. I was like, are they looking for a drummer? But no, they got people that fill in and stuff. They're taking care of my drum set. I still check in on it.
You're like, I'm looking for scratches.
Yeah. But I miss it, man. Like sometimes I'll see like videos, like guys doing videos like of just little short clips and stuff. There's a drummer out of Austin that always posts up like little clips. He's in Boyfriends, and he's in a few other bands. I mean, he does it pretty seriously. He's a very tight drummer. I think his name is like Aaron Perez.
That sounds so familiar.
Yeah, look up his clips on YouTube, man. Or not on YouTube, just on Instagram. Like he just did this one to that fucking who was it? Kendrick Lamar. He did it to like a Kendrick Lamar track, and he has it all set up to where like it's all mixed. It's like professional done, so like everything's going to a mixer board, and then into the camera and stuff. So like it's not just like oh shit, like it's all mixed and layered, like very
like high production type.
Yeah, very clean and stuff. And he's just jamming on top of that stuff, and I was like, oh, I saw that shit. I was like, oh, I want to play again. I would love to start playing.
Yeah,
again.
that bug never goes away, man. Like it's crazy how.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Get an electronic kit, man.
It's not the same. I've had 2 of those.
Yeah.
I've had 2 of those, and it's really not the same.
What about that one that Pearl made with like those thick white heads? You know what I'm talking? Like they were just heads you put on an acoustic set, but it made it like an electronic drum set.
I've never tried those, man. Like, have you tried? Like, is the response, the bounce back, like pretty good?
The response is nothing like a regular one, but it's better.
Yeah.
It's better than the mesh.
Yeah.
I will say, but it's nothing. Like nothing will ever feel like a regular head.
I am one of those that goes to Sam Ash and like bangs on.
Oh, you're one of those guys?
Yeah. I used to hate those guys. I hated those guys whenever I would go to Sam Ash to buy heads or sticks or something. Like,
yeah.
Would these fucking assholes just fucking knock it off? I mean, like, do you know how stupid they look? And now I'm one of those. I go there and I make noise and
You
shit.
just stand there like this.
Yeah.
You just announce what cover you're doing. Like, hey, check this out, guys.
Not even that. I'm just like, it's gotten so bad. Like, I haven't played drums like solid like in 2 years that like I could barely hold a beat together, especially on that thing. Like, you gotta, same thing with comedy, dude. You have to feel it. You have to get in the pocket. You have to like feel that stuff. Like, if you're not in the zone, then you're not gonna like have a beat, like a solid beat and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm really just like wailing my arms, like just like making noise, really.
Drumming gave me like really bad like arthritis in my hand for some reason, like right on my thumb.
Oh yeah.
So like I did it on an electric kit the other day, and I maybe did it for like an hour, and by the end of it, like my thumb was gonna fall off, and I was like, yeah, this is rough, man. Like I don't know if I could. I'd have to like change my hand technique and everything.
Yeah. Well, I was always like, even that, I don't even do that anymore, but I was always like on a practice pad, always working it out, always doing stuff, like rudiments and stuff.
Paradiddles.
Yeah. Like I was in marching band before, so I learned all that like from there.
Yeah.
But instead like traditional, I do like the matchsticking. But I miss it, man. But like we live in an apartment, so you got to rent a place, and then I got to get into the a drum set. And it's so expensive, man. Like once you like the heads, you got to replace the heads, and then and my stupid self, like if I had a real good performance and stuff, well, it doesn't even have to be a good performance. If it's a good performance or a bad performance, either way, I'm throwing my sticks out. I would always do sticks like that.
Dude, that's just money down the train, like in the drain, dude.
Yeah. I only did that at local shows. I didn't do that when I went on tour because I was poor.
Yeah.
I was like, never mind.
Like, throw the picks out, man. Throw the picks out. Throw one out for me.
Yeah, I would throw my water bottles.
Here's the set list. There's like 4 people there. Like, we all left with something. Thank you.
Yeah. That was a blast, man. I do miss it, but the whole thing, like trying to like build a band and stuff, you got to find people that are on the same page and stuff. Yeah. And that's pretty difficult, especially like getting older. Like everybody has like different stuff going on, and that's why I started doing open mics.
Yeah.
I started going to open mics because like people would say, oh, come jam out. We have a back line, so they had the setup there, and so I started to go check it out, and that's when I saw people doing like comedy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, this is how it starts.
Well, and there is a certain aspect of comedy where it's like if you do a bad job or like you don't practice enough or anything, like you're the only one that you can blame.
Definitely.
With a band, like like I said, like there's some Yokos out there, and it's just like home dude never showed up, man. Like what are we gonna do? But comedy is like that is 100% on you. If you fail, if you succeed, like that's you.
That's the good. That's the thing about it is like it's your thing to make it important or not. Is it going to be a priority? Is it going to be something that you work on? Because there was a time where like I would just go to mics and without even like going through stuff, and then be so mad, like, why the fuck did I waste my time coming out here if I wasn't gonna take it seriously and all that stuff. And then there's those nights where like I do like rehearse and rewrite and go over the stuff right before I hit the stage, and then it's fucking great set. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's why you got to do it. But yeah, I mean, it's the accountability thing, you know, because with the band, you have to hope everybody else is accountable just as much as you are, you know, with the time or financials and all that stuff. With comedy, man, like it's you do it or you don't, you know. It's really up to you and shit.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing about it, but also the bad thing is like it's just you. Like you can't hide behind anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, if you're like a shitty drummer, you can't hide behind like a good guitar player.
Yeah.
You know,
or like a solid bass player. Like
like there's no hiding. Like it's all or nothing, which makes it even that much more like of a drug.
Yeah.
You know, because when it's good, it's really good, and when it's bad, like you're probably not going to sleep that night.
Yeah.
You know.
Man, so the biggest thing I've learned in these 5 months of like there's been days where I've practiced like not practiced at all. I've done, you know, 1 mic a week, and it's just like terrible.
Yeah.
And the highs are high, the lows are low, but either way, it's super rewarding because you can just see like even if you spend an extra 5 minutes a day, like you see that like almost instantly, like the next week it's super cool, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm doing it. Glad I met you, man. I've met so many cool people doing this. Like
and that's the thing, man. Like it's really fun. Like it's different than like the music scene, because music scene people are like in their douchebaggery and shit.
Everyone must be enemies. Hey, speaking of, I wanted to bring this up earlier, but you were talking about like forming a band. Have you seen that new Motley Crue movie on Netflix?
Oh, we could talk about that. No, but I hear that like it's very PG, considering like their actual true story. Like they had to hold back on it. What they should have done is made it based off of the Dirt, like the Motley Crue book, because it's very like safe compared to what the book was.
So you have seen it?
I just heard reviews about it. Like
okay.
I refuse to see it because I know it's gonna piss me off. You know what I mean?
Dude, I didn't like it, man. Like it honestly felt like The Room. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the movie that the Disaster Artist is about.
Oh yeah.
It felt like that. Like some of the lines in there are just like, is this real life? Like, do people actually talk like this? I don't know. It just felt like rushed and low budgeted, and I don't know. It was just.
It was kind of rushed, right? Because it just came out of nowhere. Like I saw that story where like Nikki Sixx was like saying like, "Well, we didn't really do this to women," and like what I put in the book, it was exaggerated, blah blah blah, because he's trying to like roll back all the bad shit.
Yeah.
Because you gotta think about it, like that's all it was about. 80s metal was all about that shit, all about like fucking underage girls and then bragging about it. They wrote songs about that shit.
Yeah.
And like what people are like trying to hide now, like they were writing songs about that shit, you know?
Like this was bragworthy 30 years ago, man.
Yeah, man. Like it was all underage. It was all underage girls that they were fucking with, and then drugs were like all everywhere and stuff. So yeah, I just know it was gonna be a cleanup version of what the true stories were. I'll probably watch. I don't
think it was as much of a cleanup version as like Bohemian Rhapsody was.
Yeah, same thing with that. I mean, I think that's why that because it wasn't the guy from Mr. Robot who was supposed to be the original one.
It was supposed to be Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah. But he wanted to be like the true story, like the whole fucking like the gay stuff, and like he wanted that to be out, the drugs, the partying.
Did you hear the story where he wanted to do the scene with like little people like walking around with like trays of cocaine on their heads?
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. Like I wish he would have been in the movie and done the movie, because that would have been hilarious.
And even with I understand like they wanted to pay tribute, but do the whole story.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
that's who he was. Like, why do people have to be ashamed of like who people are, man?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And especially with the drug thing, like you saw it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like the whole drug thing, it wasn't even that like outlandish. It was just so casual, like, oh, we're just hanging out.
Yeah, he was like
some drugs over there,
like a white girl at Coachella, dude. Like that was like the limit of his drug use.
Yeah, it was just like, no, man. Like you wanted to see like the whole like debauchery of it, you know, because that's all the stories that you heard about them.
Yeah.
You know, and you wanted to see, oh, this is gonna be fucking wild, and then it was so fucking tame. I was impressed, and I don't even know how true this was, but like all the scenes that they did in the studio, how they like show like them recording like different parts and like their struggles with that with the record labels and all that stuff. I liked that part of the movie. That was very interesting. I don't know how true that was because all you knew about Queen is like the party and Freddie Mercury was gay and he had AIDS and all that stuff.
Do you remember the character that Mike Myers played in Bohemian Rhapsody?
He was the record exec that didn't like them. That didn't like Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, he didn't like the track.
So funny fact about that, I looked that guy up to see if he was like a real person. Mm-hmm. And he's a fictional character.
Oh yeah.
But on the Google search, it was like related people. The first one was Fat Bastard, which I thought was hilarious for some reason because he looked exactly like Mike Myers as Fat Bastard as a record executive. Like, I'm a dude playing an executive.
Yeah. It was pretty funny that they had him in the movie because like that's kind of how people got introduced to it because of Wayne's World and shit. You know? Nobody knew about Queen until like Wayne's World, like for the most part, and then he gets that part of the movie to be the record executive to say like this song is shit. That was like the joke within the joke type of thing. But yeah, I mean it was a good movie, but you knew that they were holding back a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
for the sake of, I guess the whole Me Too stuff. I mean I don't know, but like the Motley Crue stuff is like I hear like it's very very tame. Maybe because of all that stuff, the whole Me Too stuff.
It's just weird because there's so many like naked chicks and like drug use and stuff, but then it's still like so tame in comparison. Like you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna go halfway, just go all the way. Yeah. If you're gonna introduce the stuff, like just tell the story. But I don't know.
But people are tearing that shit apart, like the Motley Crue one, because there's so many like inaccuracies.
Yeah.
Like something about like the accident where he killed the drummer from the other band.
Yeah.
It was in like a Pantera or something, but in the movie he was driving a Camaro. Like people are that like
they're like that into it.
That shit.
Oh
yeah.
Man.
And like how Nikki Sixx was his mom or his dad or something was telling him to shut up while he was playing his bass, and he had a Kiss poster like on his wall. But like Kiss didn't have posters at that time. At the same time where he would have been that age.
Oh, they're just like reading like that much into the. That's like
people like
straight out of Compton, like when Eazy-E had like a White Sox hat, like that logo hadn't been released yet, and people were like tearing them into that. Like, yeah, it's just those like clickbait articles where it's like 10 inaccuracies. Like
there's actually an article like that. I think like 10. I think they went on as far as like 20, like things wrong with this. Like this didn't add up, and like so and so, Tommy Lee didn't meet her at that place. They met at a fucking Rat concert or some shit like that,
If people would just pay that much attention to something that mattered, like I don't know. That stuff cracks me up, man. Honestly.
See, I don't know that much about it. I'm just like, where's all the fucking at? I was like, there's more fucking than this,
dude. It's like some of the scenes are like softcore porn, but it's like hilarious. It's like to me, it was just like, oh man, I don't know. I didn't enjoy that movie. It was like PGR, I guess is the best way of saying it. Like, yeah. But
no, man, I'll probably check it out this week. I don't do a lot of like Netflix just because I get very addicted to stuff. So I will like binge watch a whole fucking season of whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah,
because it's there.
What was the last thing you binged?
Of course, Stranger Things, and then my wife got me into like Orange Is the New Black.
Dude, that show fell off so hard for me, man.
I didn't do this last season. Well, like the one that ended, I guess it's like the third one.
Yeah.
Where they like rioting and all that shit, and then they hold up that.
Yeah, that's when I stopped watching it.
That was the last season for me. I didn't continue with that.
Because that whole season took place in like 3 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And it felt like 30 years watching it. So I was just like, I think I'm going to just take a break from this right now.
But I don't do like Game of Thrones. Never seen the Game of Thrones.
I've seen one episode, and people tell me all the time to get into it. And like, honestly, like I don't have anything against it. They're just so, I try not to like do things that are that long. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's a big chunk of my day.
I have no interest in it. Like everybody's like, dude, they show boobs. I was like, well, show the Pornhub.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And less dragons on Pornhub. You know?
Yeah, and I don't have to worry about all the stuff I don't like while watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. If someone tried to convince me of watching something because there's boobs in it, I'd go watch The Dirt again, honestly, and just say it wasn't as bad of a movie.
And then I mean it's already like so late. Everybody's already like binge watched all of it, and like it's already like the last season, the final season.
Yeah.
Everybody's all stoked about it. I was like, I'm over it. You know.
I'm pretty sure that if you started watching that show right now and didn't stop until the new season started, you still probably wouldn't catch up.
Yeah.
So you might as well just wait.
Yeah. Like and then Walking Dead, you know, I fell off of that too. I didn't even know it was still on. Really, somebody posted something about The Walking Dead, like, "Oh, I can't believe this happened." I was like, "I can't believe it's still on."
When did you stop watching it?
Probably like the fourth season. The end of the fourth season was the last one. So what? They're like at 6 or 7.
Dude, I don't even know where they're at anymore.
No, they're like at 9.
Like
or
that little kid could be a 37-year-old man at this point. I have like no idea, but
yeah,
Carl.
Whenever the season where they killed the Asian dude,
that was
the last season.
You were done with it at that point. You were like, you killed my Glenn.
Yeah, man. And what pissed me off too is like, because I didn't watch it immediately when it came out, so it was all like spoiled for me. And that was another thing too. Like I don't like watching shit after it's already been spoiled.
Yeah.
And so people post shit like as soon as they see it, they want to be the first to like post about it.
Why was that show so like? Just people wanted to ruin that for other people. You know what I mean? Like they just wanted to spoil it.
Well, because I mean, like I don't know, man. I guess for me, I got really into Sopranos and stuff.
Yeah.
But so people would talk about that immediately, like the next day and shit. But that was really before like social media was like really like kicking like it is.
Yeah.
So I guess people just want to be like the first to know things, and they want to be the first to like talk about it. But people would like watch it as soon as it went out, and I guess they assumed everybody else was doing the same thing, like watching it at like in real time, and then just let's talk about it online. But
do you think it's like a FOMO thing, like a fear of missing out? So you gotta like post about it and
yeah.
Because dude, honestly, like I stopped watching it right around that same time because I remember everyone was talking about like who Negan was gonna kill or whatever. Do you think that was just to distract us from talking about Trump on Facebook for 5 minutes? You know what I mean? Like just
nah, I don't get into like conspiracies like that and stuff. It just became less about like zombies, walkers. You know? It was more drama, and like I was like, I like to see like them attack fucking like or survive.
Well, that's what the show's about, man.
It's supposed
like
to be about survival, and now you're fighting against people. I mean, we do that in real life. I mean,
yeah.
We do that online on a daily basis.
I would just go to the east side and just like, you know, but yeah, no, that's one of the things that fell off for me. There's a show called Z Nation. It's on Netflix. You ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
It's like a really, really bad zombie show, but it's hilarious at the same time.
Yeah,
and it's very addictive. But like, it's about zombies. But
see, that's the thing. Like the whole like the zombie thing is kind of like it's played out. People just got like carried away with it, and now they're like zombie romance novels or shows or whatever, or like he's a nice zombie, he's a zombie that has a heart and all that shit. Like, come on, man.
There's a movie about that. I forgot what that was, but
I don't know, man. I just don't get it. I don't get. But one thing that is pissing me off that people are trying to ruin for me, like not me on purpose, but that Us movie.
Yeah,
people are talking about it online, and I was like, I haven't seen it yet. I
haven't seen it yet either. Let's go right after this.
No, that's the thing. I hate going to movie theaters because people they're talking, they're on their phones. I'm like, why are you paying so much money? Unless it's like the dollar movies, like these dollar movies, okay, like I get it. Like nobody gives a fuck.
You can't be
anymore.
that mad there. Like your seat doesn't even work in the first place, so like you can't.
But like to go like to an actual like to like a movie premiere or whatever, or like when it first comes out, the first few weeks, and people are seeing it like for the third or fourth time, so they really don't give a fuck. And they'll be scrolling on their phones or talking, or like, oh, watch this part. I like this part that's coming up. Like, shut the fuck up.
The only experience I've ever had where people talked in a movie and I had a great time was I was in high school, and for some reason there was like 30 of us, and we all wanted to go to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
We went to go see this movie called Prom Night. It was like a horror movie. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Terrible movie. But there's a scene in it where this girl starts kicking like the killer in the face. Mm-hmm. And in the middle of that scene, This guy stands up. He's in the middle row, directly in the middle, like perfect seat in the house. Stands up, starts throwing punches in the air, and yells out, "Get him, bitch!"
What
and
the
the whole theater just goes insane, dude.
Yeah.
But that was probably the only time that I've ever been like, I'm really glad that happened.
Yeah.
Because that movie was terrible, and that was the entertainment I needed in that moment. So.
One time, man, like it was when the new It came out, right? And we were at the River Center Theater, and it was a small theater. Like they had like those lounge chairs and all that shit. And the chick right next to me, she was on her phone, so it's like bright and shit
The whole time.
And then the people on the other side were like just talking and shit. And I was like, man, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, do I get up? Do I go tell a manager? Am I gonna be one of those like I'm gonna go speak to the manager and shit? And I wished it to be fucking over. I was like, oh, can they please? Like, I guess you could call it praying and shit. And then the fucking movie, it skipped all the way to the end, and then it shut off. Like there was something wrong with the projector. And I was like, did I do that? What sucks is like it went all the way to the end. Like had maybe 20 minutes in, and then it just like fast forward all the way to the end, like where they're cleaning like the bathroom, and they were like, what the fuck? And then it just shuts off, and the lights go up, and like everybody's like, what the fuck? And so I was like, did I pray that to happen?
You caused a miracle that day, and that was it, right? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Dude, I saw it when you seen the Rick-mobile from Rick and Morty, like you seen that? So it's Rick from Rick and Morty, but he's like a giant car.
Oh yeah.
And they go to places, and it's like a pop-up shop, like they just sell stuff out of the car. And so I was like, hey, babe, can we go to this Rick-mobile? And she was like, sure. Yeah. And so we got there, and it was at the Alamo Drafthouse. I don't remember which one. It was at one of the Alamo Drafthouse. And we went to go see it while we were waiting, and the line, like we got there like 4 or 5 hours early because I knew it was going to be crazy. Yeah. And their line was like 3 people, and she was like, no, I'm not getting in line right now. So I was like, all right. So we went to go see it. We come out, and the line was like 450 people deep, dude. Like wrapped around Alamo Drafthouse at this point. Like I was like seeing people I hadn't seen in years. It was like I was like, dude, what are you doing? Oh, this is cool. Like, but yeah, man. So I waited in line for like 4 hours to buy a bath towel with Mr. Poopy Butthole on it. But yeah, I guess that was like a good investment at the time in my head.
See, and that's the thing too. Like, I don't like to get into things that are like too popular because I don't like crowds. I don't like waiting. You know what I mean? So it sucks too because like you want to be like with all the like this thing's popular. I want to be a part of it and stuff, but I just don't like being a part of this shit.
So,
you know?
So you don't like Rick and Morty?
I like Rick and Morty and stuff, but like not as hardcore as a lot of people. Yeah. Like I've seen a few episodes, but like everybody's like talking about like, oh, remember this one when this happened and stuff. And what got me into that is like there's a guy that does like he does paintings of them. You know, I forget his name. I wish I could fucking think about it. But he's an awesome artist, awesome painter and stuff. Like he did like these white vans and he painted them all like the characters. Like it looks like fucking awesome.
Dude, that's kind of the same thing with me. I found a guy that did like glass like pendants and stuff. And you could buy like a giant Morty head. Yeah. I don't know why anyone would wear that. I wouldn't, but it's cool. It'd be cool.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that he does. Like I'm like, why do people want that? But people want that shit. Like those little plates that you do like little whatever. You could use it for different reasons, but people use it for illegal stuff, I guess. But I was like, why is this so popular? And then he started getting into it. Like he's like very intense like about like the show, and so that's when I went to go check it out. But it's not one for me like to binge watch it or nothing. Yeah, it was entertaining. It was funny, but
I could definitely binge watch it. But I love like adult cartoons too. Like, that's probably one of my favorite things in this world. But the main reason I went was they had I don't know if you know who Mr. Meeseeks is, he's one of the characters from there, but they had a tabletop the used car places, how they have like the blower like things, like the guys that just wobble around, and like a tabletop one, like 6 inches. And I was like, no, I need that to be on my kitchen table, like it's in the middle of it. And every dinner I'll just turn him on and he'll just just wiggle around my kitchen table. And I didn't get one, so I was like super mad about it. But I was like, I waited in line 4 hours for nothing.
Yeah. That's funny, man. I feel like we've been just rambling about shit. We're supposed to be about comedy. And
Are we supposed to be focused on something? I don't know. This is my first
I don't know, man.
First time doing this.
I try to do it like there's conversation. There's podcasts that are just conversations and stuff. I try to avoid that, but shit. I mean, we'll just do what we do.
I mean, like whatever. I'll be back next week.
People tune out, whatever. It is what it is. But so for 5 months, man, you've been like, you got it into like started doing shows like pretty fast.
Yeah, it was a lot of like right place, right time though. Like it wasn't really like people weren't like, dude, you're the next Messiah. Like it was just it was kind of like, hey, you standing there, take this, and I was like, oh, this is a microphone. Hi, how's it going, guys? Like there was just a lot of that kind of stuff that happened. But
like what? Explain like which one was the what was the first right place, right time?
Okay, so we were doing on Wednesdays. They like didn't have anything going on at Jokesters. So do you know Duck Easy? Mm-hmm. So Duck Easy had gotten like an invite. They were like, hey, go do a set at Jokesters. Like you have an hour or whatever. Yeah. And so it was me and Brendan Potter and Duck Easy. And for like 3 Wednesdays in a row, we just did like our own hour, like whatever we wanted to do. Like we would host, like I'd host and whatever. We'd just kind of do our own thing there, and nobody really cared. And there was one time when there was a lady that was throwing a show at Jokesters there, and it was this big like it's for this foundation called Hero Sports, but it's a great foundation with a great cause. But they had asked me if I wanted to be on one of their shows, and then it kind of turned into like, well, all 3 of you guys should be on the show. So we all got booked just by practicing on a Wednesday, essentially. Oh yeah. And so that was definitely right place, right time. And then
do they still do shows on Wednesday?
I don't know what they're doing on Wednesdays now, man. I think they do like a different theme or something like that on Wednesday. They might have like that DJ room going, but I'm not too sure about Wednesdays. I know Thursdays open mic, and then the weekends they usually have like real like paid shows and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so that was like the very first like right place, right time. And I had only been doing comedy like 3 months when that happened, so I was like, I'm not ready for this, but I'm not gonna not ever do it, because I mean, I want to have a mic in my hand like 7 nights a week, Like that's my goal.
And so it was your idea to open up the one in Church too?
Yeah. So I have a buddy that bartends at both of them, and I hit him up. We went to like high school together and stuff, and we still talk. And I hit him up and was like, dude, like we're trying to set up an open mic. We have all the equipment, we have the PAs and the mics, and we really just need a location where we can have people meet at. And he talked to the owner, and the owner was like, we'll do a test run on a Monday at Bar House, which is like the smaller venue. I think we had like 11 comics show up, like just same people that still show up to this day, and super supportive group, and the crowd loved it. There's same like 4 or 5 people come out every single time. There's always new people, but we always see at least 4 to 5 familiar faces, which is really cool. Cause
is it a good spot? Like a neighborhood bar type of spot?
Yeah, so they have like a ginormous outside area with like at Old Main, the outside could fit like couple hundred people easily. Oh yeah. And they have like metal cover bands and country cover bands that go out on the weekends, and like it's like ginormous shows. But for us, we kind of just do it in the corner, and if you want to sit in the front, you can sit in the front. If you want to sit 50 feet away and kind of have like a quiet conversation, like it's not going to affect the show by any means. Okay. And it's like they have fire pits, and it's just like a really cool kind of chill spot. And the city of Cibolo and the city of Shirts, like the comedy fans out there have been coming out pretty regularly, at least like 20 to 25 of them. And oh wow, yeah, it's been really cool. Like we started it with no expectations at all. Like I thought it was going to be one of those places that no comics showed up to, and I was just going to have unlimited time to talk on a microphone, and I was like, I'm okay with that too. I don't even care. But like Justin Byers and Brendan Potter and King Quasi came out last week, and so it was a ton of fun, man. Like, there's been a ton of really good comedians coming through and a really good crowd most of the time.
Yeah, it's the only one going on Monday, right? It's the only mic on Monday.
At the moment, yeah. I know there used to be Martini Ranch, but I think they're going to Tuesdays now. I think so.
Yeah, they had just opened up Martini Ranch. I guess they were doing some renovations and stuff. That was the first mic I went to. I went up at was Martini Ranch, the PWA one.
Oh, really? See, I hadn't had an opportunity to go to that one.
Yeah, I don't think they're running anymore because their spot was, well, they started off at Frankie Diablo's, or when I found out about them, they were at Frankie Diablo's, and then they started doing it at Martini Ranch.
Okay.
And so that's where I first went up at, and it was a lot of fun, man. Because they have like their own crowd, like the poetry crowd, but they like doing comedy every now and then. So that was pretty good at Martini Ranch and stuff. But I haven't done any shows. I'm booking, or I'm supposed to be hosting, the one in April 13th. Some guys from the Gentleman Swank. They're a band that I had on the podcast before. They're trying to run this the second Saturday with the Gentleman Swank. But they want to do like a comedy, and then do a band, and then they're gonna finish out the night. Like they're doing like a 2-hour fucking set. I was like, well, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's long, man.
But they're trying that out, so we're gonna do like a comedy hour. So I got a few people I'm still waiting for confirmations on. But I'll be hosting that one. So that'll be like kind of, I guess, my first show.
That's gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah,
dude, I still can't believe that's your first show, man. Because
I haven't been aggressive about it. Like, I do mics, but I don't really go up to people and like say, "Hey, man, like, can I get on a show?" I do now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying just now, but like I just started like just asking people to, "Hey, can you put me on your show and stuff?"
Yeah.
Just because I don't know, like, I don't know, man. I got a mixed review from some. Well, I guess it wasn't a mixed review, but he just he offered me to take his class after one of my sets. And I was like, I don't know if that's like a compliment, or if that's you telling me like I need to take a class or whatever.
What are you trying to say right now?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I get it. In my head, it's like comedy is one of those things where we're only better when we're all cool with each other, like working together, or like helping each other out.
Yeah,
we're all stronger together. And so I don't. If people say stuff like that to me, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, thanks, man. Like,
yeah.
If you ever need anything from me, let me know.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't put my name out on there. Like you see it all the time, like on the message board, not message boards, on like Facebook. You know, like, oh, need 2 comics for this day, need some whatever for this day, and all that stuff. I haven't like put my name in the hat for that yet. Just having fun doing the open mics and stuff. I want to get more confident on that, because I could have like bad shows, man.
Yeah.
Like if there's nobody in the crowd, it's a bad situation.
Oh yeah, dude, I still bomb hard, dude. I bombed hard on Tuesday, real hard.
Oh, at LOL this past Tuesday?
No, not at LOL, at Elbow Room.
Oh yeah.
But I love Elbow Room, man. It's cool because like you can really
it's a great spot.
If it works there, it works.
It's a great spot, yeah. I've only done that a couple times. The last time I was there, I was like, fucking shit. And it's hard to see like other people fold, and you're like, oh man, like if they're folding, because you've seen them do good, like, oh shit, if they're folding, how's it gonna be when I get up there? But yeah,
that is intimidating, right? When you see someone who's like always killing it, and they go up there and
yeah. But like I've seen people like that can still perform to an empty room, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck,
that's the goal, right? Like,
yeah, pretty much. But the worst one was Oak Hill Taverns. Have you done that, Mike?
I've done it once.
Nobody in the room. Nobody but the bartender, and then a few people like at the bar, but they don't give a fuck. Like to perform, you're pretty much performing to yourself. You're pretty much just talking to yourself.
When I did it, there were a couple people there.
They've had good crowds there before.
Yeah.
It's just the last time that I was there, like it was just like fucking rough. I had to tell another comic, I was like, go get the host, man, because I'm about to just walk off. I don't know, man. That's always, it's just adjustments like that. I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. But with me, I have that musician mentality to where like open mics is just me playing drums in my room.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not playing this full song yet. You know, I'm still learning how like everything goes and stuff. If people like it, that's a fucking added bonus.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna start like inviting people. Hey, come check me out at this open mic.
Yeah.
Or like ask people like to like get involved or like to take an interest.
Yeah.
Like other comics who book shows. Like
yeah.
I don't know, man. But I'm getting there.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be cool to like start doing shows.
Dude, you're funny, man. I like your stuff.
Thanks, man. Like if I put the effort into it, like it feels good, like I feel successful. But there's been times where I just go up and I go like, never mind.
There are also those times where it's like you're not feeling it or whatever. Whenever I'm like really not feeling it, that's when I really try and like Because if like the end goal is like to try and do this as like a job or whatever, I know you got like a 1 in a million chance or whatever, but like end goal, perfect world, pick your job, whatever kind of thing, you have to be able to suppress everything that's going on in the outside world. And so when I'm really not feeling it, that's when I kind of think of like my biggest challenge. I'm like, all right, I got this. And those are the times I'm like, I don't know my set, like stuff like that, but it's cool. I mean, it's like a self challenge, and
I always fool myself into thinking like, oh, it's just a light switch that just turns on as soon as you get on stage, and then I think like, oh, I know my stuff. You know, I wrote these jokes, I know exactly what they are, and then you get up there and like, nope, blank and stuff. So you got to get out of that. And also another thing for me too, like I'm a lot older than a lot of these people who are just starting out now.
Yeah.
You know, like most of the people my age have been in it for like 6, 7, 10 years.
How old are you?
36. So yeah. So that's another thing too. Like, trying to be in the clique with all the young people.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, man. I mean, people respect if you go up there and they just put an effort and shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I'm still working on the whole confidence thing.
Well, see, and you also have the thing where you kind of get along with everybody too. Like you know what I mean? Like I've never seen anyone have a problem with you or anything like that. And like,
no, man. I mean, I respect everybody. Like I respect everybody that goes up and just does it. You know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that doesn't like people's acts, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's a few people whose acts I don't like. I respect the fact that they still go on stage and do it.
Yeah.
But if it's obvious to me, if I feel that you're ripping off somebody else's act, I check out immediately.
Dude, that's big for me too, man. Dude, I was talking to someone the other day and they were like, "Oh, what do you do when you hear someone else using somebody else's joke?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Did you just ask me like how do I feel about people like stealing jokes? Like that's not cool, man. Like people don't do that. Like or people do it, but you really shouldn't."
Yeah.
And they were just like, "Oh, wow." And I was like, "Wow, you're clueless, man." But like but I guess that's like a perception that people have that's like a thing.
And that's another thing too. Like my thing is like if I write something down, or if I come up with something, I was like, I can't be the first one to think of that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm always afraid like to come out with that shit. I mean, if somebody told me like, hey, you know, that's so and so's joke, I'll just say, okay,
yeah,
show me. You know, like I swear to God, I'm not trying to steal anybody's joke.
Yeah.
But it's not even stealing jokes; it's stealing people's like personas, like bigger comics. If you steal their personas and stuff, like I'm still trying to figure out my voice, I guess, however you would say it. And stuff.
Dude, me too, man.
But there's people that man, like they're just so like stealing. Like it's obvious that they're stealing somebody else's act.
Yeah.
And with that turns me off. Like I respect you for going up there. I still respect people for going up there. But like it's not a comedy karaoke type of situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not lip syncing up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And then people that do this, I mean, they have like a sense of entitlement already, or like they have like this attitude towards people, and you probably know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He's had problems with other people. Like it's been an issue with other people, and they've stated it before. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
Or I'm not gonna name names because it's really not worth it. But I'm not the only one that feels that way about.
See, and my thing is, I'm literally so new to this that like I've never had any of those experiences with anyone. My thought process on it, and if anyone wants to have a conversation with me about anything, like they're gonna get the same response. But like, nobody owes me anything. You know what I mean? Like I made the choice to start doing this 5 months ago. Like I could have made this choice 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Like, I just started doing it. Like I'm brand new to it. Any mic that comes my way, I'm grateful for it. And you know, any if you have an opinion other than that, then like if you're not getting paid to do it, then change your opinion, man. I don't know. Like that's how it needs to be, because you're not gonna get anywhere acting like that.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's. It comes with the territory, like being an open micer. Well, that's what I am. I just do open mics, so don't get paid for shows. This is not, you know, to me, it's a hobby that I really would like to get better at. But I know my place. I know, like, I'm not gonna like fucking talk shit to anybody who knows how this works. You know, who's making money off of this stuff. You know, like. But that's my personality. A lot of people don't feel that way. They feel like, well, I do what you do, even though they've been doing it like for a couple months, a few months and shit, and they feel like they have that. They feel like they're at the same level. I don't have that. I don't mix that with it. But like there's one guy. He's fucking hilarious. It was intimidating because we were at a mic, and he was like, "Man, like this guy on stage, he's my friend. He's cool, but I hate jokes. He's a comedian." I was like, "Well, what the fuck are you gonna do when you get up there, man?" He's like, "I don't know, man. I'm just gonna wing it and shit. And I really hate jokes. I just hate like the whole setup and all that stuff. And I guess it just comes with like being in it, doing it for so long,
Were they like a veteran guy that was like?
He's been in it for a while, yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, some people they go in there and they're just naturally funny and shit, and they don't want to go off a script, or they don't want it to seem like too done.
Yeah.
Like for the long time, like when I first started, I would try to go and do like new stuff every time, and it didn't work like that, because it's just trying new stuff.
Yeah.
And then somebody told me like, you could do your same set, just you're adding stuff, you're changing words, or you're changing like the placement of it in your set to try to make it better. I was like, I can. Like I felt like they gave me like a cheat code or something like nobody gives a fuck. Like especially at the open mics, like nobody gives a fuck if you're saying this stuff over and over again, because you're just helping yourself say it better.
Yeah.
Or make it, make it more
and more
smooth.
familiar. And there was a guy, I don't know if you know Eric Packyard, but so he was the host at Jokesters the very first time I ever did a set or like an open mic. And so I felt comfortable like asking him, but the first couple times I did, it was like the same, or it was like different every single time, like completely different.
Yeah.
And then I had asked him, like, dude, it feels weird, like telling the same jokes over and over to the same 10 comics in the room, like, because a lot of times there's just comics there.
Yeah.
And he gave me some great advice in the fact that like nobody cares, dude.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares about you or your jokes or anything like that. Like, do your jokes. Nobody's gonna remember them next week. He's like, dude, I don't remember a single thing you said. Like, and I was just like, dude. Thank God. And that just kind of was some really great advice that I've just kind of stuck to.
Yeah. I mean, you're just working shit out, It's just like, and again, like I don't know if this makes sense to anybody else, but like I attribute to, not attribute, but I link it to bands, like writing music, performing music. You build it from something, and you make it better, you perfect it, and then you present it to people.
Yeah.
And they either dig it or they don't, But
and a lot of times what I've been learning is just the way you say it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could say the same thing, just say it different, and like you get a totally different reaction out of it. So.
Yeah. And that's what I'm like. I say the same thing. I mean, I have like maybe 10 minutes that I interchange here and there, but I always like add a little something to it, or put like a little accent on something.
Yeah.
When it works, it works. When it doesn't, like, it's just like, fuck. Because like for the longest time, it was hard for me to find like my beats, because people would laugh at different things. Like they would laugh at the setup. Yeah, like, I'm not there yet. I actually had to tell people like, dude, you gotta wait for it. I'm not there yet. Like they would be like, started laughing and shit. Like, so I was like, I'm still working on like the pacing and doing all that stuff. And that's why like I don't want to ask anybody to put me on a show and then I fucking like bomb.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why like I took my time. And then I mean, it started a year ago, but I took weeks off.
Yeah.
Months off. It wasn't a solid like every day and all that stuff. November was probably like my busiest month. And I felt really good about that, and then I just started taking breaks. So if I could like get in a solid like routine of it, and then start doing shows on the weekends or something, like, that'd be fun.
What do you do for like work?
I work in an office.
You work in an office?
Yeah.
So you got like the weekends and the nights?
9 to 5, yeah.
That's cool, man. Yes. Another hard thing is there's just, you're in San Antonio. Like there's not as many options as there are for open mics. That's why I was like, dude, if I could get something started on Monday, there's nothing else going on Monday. So, I want to kick that up.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm glad, because now you got my mic on Mondays, you got LOL Tuesdays, Elbow Room Tuesdays, Oak Hills Wednesdays, Jokesters Thursdays, Texan 2 Thursdays, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those are the times when people get paid. They're getting paid. So like that's the cool thing about it, is every day that you could do a show for an open mic, you're doing it.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I mean, like there's plenty of places to practice and stuff. So that's just where I'm at on that. But cool, man. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Again, you have a show coming up. Again, this goes out on the 31st. So anything after that you want to promote? What do you got going on?
April 24th, Luke Malden is throwing a showcase at the Middleton Brewery in San Marcos. I'll be doing that. And then I hope everyone had fun at Jokesters on Thursday, man. The tomorrow / a couple days ago.
Yeah, a couple days ago. In the future and in the past.
Yeah.
Cool. And then social media. How do you get your social media again?
So on Instagram, it's Joey Smith Comedy, and then I post we have a different flyer for the open mic every week, so I post the flyer. I don't know if that's the best business model, but it's fun to have a new flyer every week. But I post them all on Instagram. I share them, any updates. I'm starting to do like just videos of me talking, but also at the same time, it's like I watch them and I'm like, stop being a tool, dude. Like whatever. but so yeah, Joey Smith Comedy on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook under Joseph Smith. If there's probably like 7.5 million Joseph Smiths on there, but
yeah,
I'm on there.
You're on there. Cool, man. Well, thanks for coming in. This was fun, man.
Yeah, this was fun, man.
I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see what's up.
All right, man. Well, I'll see you tomorrow / 4 days ago.
4 days ago.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you.
Later.